Okay, let's get started here. Our Lady of Guadalupe. Come on. Let's see. Appeared. Okay. So Our Lady of Guadalupe. Appeared to Juan Diego. And asked him to erect a shrine in her name. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Lady of Guadalupe was Mary. This is just what it came from. Okay, and then, hang on. A couple more things. She had him, whenever the bishops didn't believe him, the Lady of Guadalupe had him bring roses, or there was a kind of rose that only appeared, or was native to Italy or whatever, and the Pope, or the bishop, wherever he was, whatever it was, deacon, said, hey, I don't believe you, show me a sign. He was from Italy. Lady of Guadalupe had him go to the top of a mountain, pick up these roses, and then bring them to him. And he had them in his tunic, okay? And whenever he brought the roses, hang on. Roses from the mouth. Whenever he brought the roses, he dumped them out, or tripped, or whatever, brought the roses. The guy saw the roses, started to believe them, and then on his tunic was like a sign of Mary, okay? Or it was like a picture almost. Okay, tunic. So from this tunic, a couple of things. There was no sign of like what it was, so like no paint. It didn't decompose, no decomposition. And finally, there was one more thing. Hang on. All the stars, okay. All the stars were correct in the correct position. So on her cloak, all these stars, they like lined them up, and it was perfectly set to where she was looking. The sun was behind her, and the moon was beneath her, telling all these native people that she was more powerful than those gods. And from where she was, like from where her eyes were, looking at Earth at this certain degree or whatever, it was looking at Earth and all the stars were correct, okay? From that day. So that's the first thing with Our Lady of Guadalupe. Another thing is indestructible, or it appears to be indestructible. Nothing, you know, like it was made out of like a cactus fiber, which should have only lasted a couple of years, and it's still around today in perfect condition. Okay. But work. Huh, it did work. It's kind of cool. I should erase from the top down, shouldn't I? I think I should. I should erase from the top down. From this point forward, we're going to erase top down. That way whenever I'm taking notes on it, you, me, we're all one person. That way I know what the hell I'm doing and I can take notes possibly without even stopping the video. That'd be nice, right? Okay. Glorious Mysteries. That's probably not how you spell mystery. Okay. We have resurrection. Obviously, after Jesus died on the cross, he resurrected 3 days after. Ascension, where Jesus ascended onto earth for 40 days. This time he spoke with the apostles and whatnot, told them what to do. 10 days later, after the 40 days, so this is going to be, 3, 40, 50. He descended into purgatory / hell. I'm sorry, Max, hang on. Hold it. Right. Yeah. He descended into hell or purgatory, and basically everyone that had died before or was martyred or whatever up until that point, they were let into heaven. At least I think that's how it works. Assumption. I don't know if this. It also says the descent was descent of the Holy Spirit. That could have also been where they were all praying and the Holy Spirit descended upon them. And then coronation. I think we're going to get some definitions of these. Okay, another thing. A novena. Okay, a novena was typically 9 days of prayer for a specific purpose. Another thing, apostolic fathers. Apostolic fathers were followers, early Christian writers. Early Christian writers believed to have had personal connections with the apostles, but we're just going to dumb that down. Friends of the apostles, right? Basically, they believed that they were the best friends because not only were the apostles of Jesus, but since they weren't selected, they were still there pretty much the whole time. They read a bunch of stuff. A lot of the books of the Bible. Who were some of the apostolic fathers? These are the ones that we've been asked to know, at least. Let's do this. We're going to have Saint Clement, Saint Ignatius. Wait, make sure I spell this right. Bruh. Ignatius, I don't know. Polycarp, okay, and then Saint Hermas. It also has Barnabas. those were all apostolic fathers. Let's rewrite that for whenever I take notes at the end. Apostolic fathers. Those are the ones you gotta know, okay? Or at least for this. That is not a touchscreen. A lot of milk here. What is Pentecost? Pentecost was when the Holy Spirit descended upon the apostles. So I was wrong. The descent is not that. That's whenever he descended into hell. The Pentecost was whenever the Holy Spirit rained down on the apostles and they started speaking in different languages and stuff because they were about to go out and spread the word. Right? Maybe? Okay. We'll leave you with that for a second. Okay. Okay. St. Peter. I'm gonna do a bunch of people here, I think. St. Peter, first pope, an apostle, and his original name, OG, was Simon. Okay. He was also the rock. OG is where he built the church or whatever. The story behind Matthias and Barnabas. We're just going to read this one. Make sure to take notes on this, Chase. This is the story behind Matthias and Barabbas, not Barnabas, and Matthias. So, wait. Yeah, Matthias, Barabbas. Okay. The apostles needed a 12th member after one of them was martyred, I believe. So they chose 2 nominees from the people who had been with them from the beginning. They were authentic witnesses to the resurrection of Jesus. They nominated Matthias and Barabbas. They prayed and decided Matthias would be the 12th member. Okay, so we can do that as well. Matthias was the 13th apostle. We'll say for him, what is a Gentile? A Gentile was anyone who was not Jewish. Anyone that was not Jewish was a Gentile. Me, for instance, I'm not Jewish. What was the Council of Jerusalem? The Council of Jerusalem, when the church accepted the Gentiles, okay, or when the church accepted Gentile baptism as a possibility and actually allowed it, and neglected Mosaic law, they turned to this. So, Gentile Christians, okay, Gentile Christians, but no Mosaic law, which is Jewish law. So this was not Jewish Christians, that's something different. Jewish Christians were people who followed Mosaic law, I think. Council of Jerusalem for when Gentiles became Christians and they didn't want to go follow the Jewish norms, like getting circumcised, for instance. So Gentiles wanted to become Christian, but didn't want to go through that. Okay, that's what they decided at the Council of Jerusalem. The difference between an apostle and a disciple. Okay, basically, a follower of Jesus is a disciple. Okay, any disciple or any follower of Jesus is a disciple. The apostles, however, were chosen by Jesus to spread the word. Okay. Next, wow, this is gonna take a lot longer than I thought. Okay, the Didache. Let's see, I'm remembering now. The Didache was the Lord's instruction to the Gentiles through the 12 apostles. Apostles to the Gentiles. Okay, so be good, essentially. Got that. Okay, Didache on its own meant teaching. Okay, so that's what they were teaching. It's what they were teaching to the people. Okay. Tertullian. I need a couple here. First 5 popes. Saint Clement, remember he was one of the Apostolic Fathers. Saint Ignatius, also an Apostolic Father. Do that in a second. Actually, we can do it over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Consecrated. Olivia put concentrated on this. Consecrated. Polycarp. Fathers of the Church. Nero. Severus, and we'll do Diocletian, is what his name is. Okay, now let's backtrack. Okay, so this guy, Tertullian, early Christian author. Based out of Carthage. Carthage in Africa. It was like the top of Africa. It was a Roman colony or whatever. That's cool. First 5 popes. We have St. Peter, that guy. St. Linus. St. Cletus. St. Clement. I believe this dude. And Saint, that's the first, by the way. And then Saint Evertius, I don't know. Eversodius, I don't know what that is. Apostolic Father. This is Clement, right? Okay. 4th Pope. Okay, remember that. Apostolic Father, consecrated by St. Peter. Oh shit. Road letters. I should really learn to write cursive. Okay, Ignatius. Ignatius was a disciple of John. Okay. Also consecrated by Peter. Consecrated by Peter. He was the first person to say new Christians. There was a new group of Christians. I believe it was the Gentile, not Jew, from this thing. Remember that? Started calling them Catholic. Okay. He was a disciple. What? Okay. Consecrated was a laying of hands. Okay, consecrated was laying of hands where, like, Jesus, for instance, on Peter, consecrated him, put his hands on him, and it was giving the Holy Spirit to him so that he knew the Word of God. Maybe. I don't know. Polycarp. He was a very devout Christian. Died a martyr. Wait. Bishop died a martyr. That's not how you spell martyr, but you know what I mean. There's a Y in there somewhere. Fathers of the Church were 3rd generation. Okay. 3rd generation. 3rd generation, like apostles. So it was the apostles, right? So Jesus, apostles were 1st generation, and then apostolic fathers, 2nd generation. Fathers of the Church, 3rd generation. Okay, they're just the next level of writers. Look at that, we're halfway there. Okay, Nero, bad dude. Bad emperor, probably the worst. He hated Christians, worst of the worst. Okay, moving on. He did a lot. That guy, he burned Christians, lit them on fire, hung them in his garden. He loved killing Christians. There was something wrong in his head or whatever. This dude. Okay. Severus. Bad emperor. Okay. He killed Saint Perpetua, cannot read that. Perpetua, P-E-E-R-P-E-T-U-A. And Felicity. Two of those. Killed the entire family by scourging them. Scourging. Scourging was like a whip. It was a specific whip that had bones and stuff in it, so it cut real deep. Diocletian. Diocletian, he split his kingdom into he split Rome into 4 different things to help separate it or whatever, because he didn't want to rule it all. He gave one person to each. He killed, wait, what? He killed the most Christians. Okay, so let's see. Most martyrs. If you were to die during this time, it would be referred to as the Diocletian persecutions. Persecutions. That's not how you spell that either. So, so here was the first pope. Matthias was the 13th apostle. Gentile was a non-Jew. Council of Jerusalem. Whenever Gentiles wanted to be Christian but didn't want to be Jewish, that's what they decided. It was okay. Apostle and disciples, any follower of Jesus. Didache means teaching. Was the Lord's like telling the apostles to teach what he was telling them to teach or whatever. Tertullian, early Christian author from Northern Africa. Saint Clement, apostolic father, 4th pope. Consecrated by Peter, put his hands on. So consecrated means laying of hands, given the Holy Spirit. St. Polycarp was a bishop, died a martyr. Nero, bad emperor, the worst emperor, burned a lot of people, did a lot of stuff. Septimius Severus, bad emperor, killed St. Perpetua and Felicity by scourging them and their entire family. It's awful, right? First 5 popes: St. Peter, St. Linus, St. Cletus, St. Clement, and St. Avarius. We're going to call it Avarius. Fathers of the church for the 3rd generation. So, apostles, apostolic fathers, fathers of the church. Got it? Diocletian split his kingdom up into 4. Most martyrs, and if you died during that time, if you were martyred for being a Christian during that time, it was the Diocletian persecutions. It's alright, gang. We're halfway there. We're getting there. It's gonna get better, I swear, maybe, as time goes on. Maybe not this one, but next year, next year we'll be doing this all the time. I can already tell. Get your notes in, Chase. You're gonna need them. Because your ass is not gonna remember this at all. I can almost guarantee it. I really hope you can see this. Can you see this? You can, but the lights are really not helping. Okay, good. I'm glad that I found that out now after I've already done half. Because I'm not gonna fix it either. Okay, whenever that dude, the Diocletian dude, split his thing into 4, it was called the Tetrarchy. The Tetrarchy, 4 kingdoms. Okay, that's what we're gonna say for that. At least 4 kingdoms. Four kingdoms. Okay. Next, who was Hadrian? Hadrian, I believe, was the first good emperor? Yes, good emperor. Now, he wasn't just a good emperor. Christianity was still illegal, but Hadrian was the first guy to not pursue it. He wasn't going door to door, knocking down everything, killing Christians just because. He was the first guy to just kind of not care. Okay, next thing, Constantine. Constantine. What did he do? Something pretty great. He made Christianity legal. Epic, right? I don't like that I just said that word. The document that made Christianity legal was the Inch of Milan. The Inch of Milan, whatever that is. I guess it's just some kind of document, right? Who was looking for the true cross? Okay, Saint Helena. Saint Helena looked and found for the true cross. Searched and found true cross. Now I'm putting that on here a lot, but it means different things, so I probably shouldn't do that. Saint Stephen, I believe. Saint Stephen was the first martyr of the church. No, go back. Yes. First martyr, first of 7 deacons. I believe that means there were 7 deacons that were martyred, not that he was the first of 7 in the line. St. Paul. St. Paul's a weird one. St. Paul, originally Saul, here, OG Saul, okay, wrote letters, he wrote a lot of letters to the Corinthians, Galatians, the Romans, and the Ephesians. All those books of the Bible, those were all his letters. His story, I'm not gonna write all that down. Essentially, he was a bad dude. He was going door to door killing all these Christians, right? Persecuting them. What he did was he was going to somewhere. Let's read it. Instead of just lollygagging. He was headed to Damascus, and on this journey, suddenly a light from heaven flashed around him. He fell to the ground and heard a voice say to him, "Saul, Saul, why do you persecute me? Who are you, Lord?" Or, "Who are you, Lord?" Saul asked. "I am Jesus whom you are persecuting," he replied. He was blinded for 3 days and converted to Christianity. Peter converted him to Christianity, and he regained his sight. And he was renamed Paul. A sign of conversion, commonly, it's a little sidebar. Name change. A name change is commonly a sign of conversion.
Jax.
Yeah.
You got an alarm set?
I do.
Because I may not be in the one.
Yeah. Alright. Name change, sign of conversion. Saint Hippocius. Pope Hippolytus. He was an apostolic father who was 86 when he died. He was a man who loved the church. He was the first anti-pope. There we go. Okay, this is a big thing. heresy of Heresius, whatever the hell that is. It was contrary to the teaching of the church. So it was contrary to the teaching of the church, at least at that time. I think it was that the heresy of heresies was contrary to teaching of the church, whatever that means. What is an anti-pope? Okay. Anti-pope. Someone who goes against the teaching of the church. Okay. Someone who goes against the teaching of the church. Usually there are political reasons, I think. There can be political. First anti-pope was Saint Hippotius, right? Yeah. What did they call it when he broke away? Okay. When Saint Hippotius broke away, they called it a schism. A schism? I don't know. Basically, a schism is a split or division. Which at that, it was a schism. Whenever he split from the church, it was a split of the church. I feel like that's pretty obvious. Anti-popes were not considered popes. They were later disregarded at some point in time. And another little sidebar thing, Saint Hippotius, he was elected into his position, not chosen, elected. So, yeah, political reasons, right? And we're done. Chase, I hope you've taken plenty of notes on this. I really hope you do well. Something tells me we won't. But your test is in 2 days. Make sure to private this video if you haven't already, because no one else needs to see that you're talking to yourself on your phone, in your room, and that you have a whiteboard, even though the thing we just did shows that we do in fact have a whiteboard. So, yeah. Good luck on your test tomorrow. Bye.